Hey guys, Dr. Frank here with Addiction Mindset. If you're watching this channel, chances are you're either trying to quit nicotine, THC, or energy drinks. But in today's video, I'm specifically going to talk about greening out. So for those of you guys who don't know what it is, look it up on Urban Dictionary. That confirms it's a real thing. But in short, what greening out is, it's where you've consumed too much weed, too much THC. It can usually result in kind of blacking out. You fall asleep, you don't know what happened. It could result in vomiting, so you're hanging over a toilet all night throwing up. It could result in muscle weakness, muscle pain. One of the big things, though, that happens when you green out is that disassociation effect that can sometimes be very long-lasting, or psychosis that can sometimes be very long-lasting. Many people may also experience major anxiety or panic attacks, and that anxiety just doesn't seem to go away. Believe it or not, it can last as short as a few hours. I've worked with patients where it's lasted as much as a year for them to recover from one instance of greening out. So most people usually green out on edibles, or more recently the carts. For those of you who don't know what a cart is, it's the THC oil, a dab pen, dabs. That would be another common thing that people green out on. So what essentially is greening out? I'm going to give you my point of view. I don't think there is a super scientific explanation for this, but I know a lot about cannabis, and I'll tell you what I think is going on. So greening out, in theory, is a point where you reach THC toxicity. So it's important to understand how marijuana works. You smoke marijuana, you smoke THC, you hit a dab, whatever it is, you do a bunch of edibles and then rip a bong, I don't care. But what happens is you overload the cannabinoid 1 receptors in your nervous system, specifically the ones that are on your brainstem. Now, I want you to realize something else too. Your gut, your GI tract, also has a lot of cannabinoid receptors. So THC binds directly to these cannabis receptors in your brainstem, in your stomach, in your muscles, all over your body. And when you do too much of that, my theory is this: I think you're throwing off your endocannabinoid system, which is responsible for regulating digestion. It's responsible for regulating sleep. It's responsible for regulating your mood when it comes to anxiety, when it comes to depression, when it comes to feelings of depersonalization and psychosis. We're learning more and more about this system every day. For those of you guys that smoke, go on, honestly, right now, Google your endocannabinoid system or your ECS. You're going to find a lot of really interesting information on this topic. I have a feeling when you green out, you are quite literally frying your endocannabinoid system, and that's why you wind up with all these crazy health complications. Now, to make matters worse, you do this, now you're embarrassed to tell your parents what happened, or you're scared to tell your parents, so now they don't know why your mood is all off. You finally decide to go see a doctor, but you're too ashamed to tell the physician. They don't run a toxicology report on you, so they don't know what drugs you have or haven't done. And you're there talking about stomach pain, and they have no idea what's going on. Now what happens? You're depressed, you got anxiety, and you got stomach pain. So what are they going to do at a doctor's office? They're going to write you a prescription for Xanax. They're going to give you something for Ambien. And then they're probably going to prescribe you a pretty harsh thing when it comes to trying to regulate your stomach again. Now you're going to get a host of new problems from potential side effects of these medications. And it's not the doctor's fault, because they don't know the full background story. Your parents are worried, and the doctor doesn't know what it is he's treating. And I'm going to be blunt with you guys right now. Even if you did tell them, they probably still wouldn't be too sure what to do. Very few physicians are familiar with this greening out condition. Especially, and the worst part of all this is the mental health that goes along with it. The psychosis, the disassociation, the depersonalization. When do you just start to feel like yourself again? That's what really, really matters. So, guys, in this video, I'm primarily obviously talking about the health consequences of greening out. I'll talk about solutions and other things in another video. That will be video number 2 on greening out. So, okay, we consume too much THC. Now, here's the scary thing. I get it if this happens on edibles. Edibles take a lot longer to get into the bloodstream. They absorb differently because they have to go through your liver and process. What really freaks me out about this is carts. A lot of people who contact me are greening out on carts. Now, here's the really screwed up thing. I get it if it's a cart from a dispensary and it's 90% THC. Let's say you're still smoking. If you're still doing this, that's absurd. But let's say you're still smoking dank vapes or these black market carts, Mario carts, some of the really high quality Kingpin counterfeits. Let's say you're still using black market carts, which most of you who green out on carts are, and you green out. Well, these carts are only testing positive for around 20 to 60, maybe 30, 20, 30, 60% THC. If it wasn't THC that's causing this horrible reaction, what in the world is going on? What in the heck did you just get poisoned with? And sincerely, you got poisoned by something. Was it THC? Was it some of the pesticides? Was it a different drug? At the end of the day, we have no idea. From a medical standpoint, we really don't have an answer for you right now. Now, I'm going to be honest. You can get better. You can improve. I see my patients improve all the time. But really think about that next time you're just going to grab a cart and go green out. What if that cart only has 25% THC? And if you don't know what makes a cart real, watch my other YouTube video on it. What in the heck is getting you so sick? What caused you to experience psychosis and depersonalization for 6 months? Why is your stomach still not normal? What happened? We don't have a solid answer. I told you, I think the endocannabinoid system got screwed up, and you can heal that. There's ways to start healing that. I talk about that in the second video. But I just want you to take a moment at the end of this video and really consider, what are you putting in your body? And when it's at this high of a concentration, especially for those of you that are doing pure dabs, not carts, real dabs, we don't know what's going to happen after you're doing 90, 98% THC all the time. We don't know how that's going to look from the age of 16 to when you turn 30. I'm telling you, it's probably not going to look good. And a lot of you are already getting that. Good news though. We can work on it. We can fix it. I'm going to talk about solutions in video number 2. If this did happen, I'm going to end with this. I highly recommend you tell your family what's going on. I know you're scared to get in trouble. I know you're worried. I know you don't want to. They're going to kill you. I'm telling you, what you're about to go through medically and psychologically requires your family to be in the loop. They should know what's going on with you. I'm not a narc. I'm not going to tell your family. It's up to you, okay? It's up to you. I'd say you guys are adults, but most of the people watching this aren't. So I want you guys to take into consideration telling your loved ones what's going on, because chances are they're worried about you and they are very, very confused right now. Follow up with video number 2. More advice coming your way. Have a great one, guys.